Hello, welcome back to More Fun Fixing It. And this is a little update video after the events at the weekend where I went to the Retrofest event in Swindon and had just a brilliant weekend. And hopefully you've seen the road trip video I did of that, and that's gone down really well. So I'm planning to do more of those in the future. In fact, I'll be taking my little mate Thomas along with me to some of them. There are plans afoot. So that's something to look forward to in the future for us. I'm not sure how much everybody enjoys hours of footage of the M25, but it seemed to go down really well. But I thought I would just go through some of the stuff I brought back from Retrofest, because I didn't realise how many bits and pieces I had accumulated over the weekend. Lots of people just were very generous with their gifts and donations, and I just want to go through that right now. Let's get this one out of the way first. This was from my buddy Lee Smith, who turned up on the Saturday, I think. He was there with us, and he's been holding on to this for me for a while. It's an issue 2 ZX Spectrum Plus 3, so it's got a Gotek with it. That's really handy. I'm pretty sure this all works as well. It looks like it's got some bodge going on here to repair some broken traces, and loads of reflowing down here as well. So it's a board that's had some issues, but I have plans for that. Thank you, Lee. That's not all he gave me. Well, he didn't give me the Lee brought along his ZX Spectrum Plus, which is this one, which I had next to the Deluxe Spectrum. It feels really nice. But he had to go and he didn't want to take away the display, so he left it with me. So I need to get this back to him somehow. This is really clever. He's even done the Plus kickstand feet. Yeah, it's quite tall without the kickstand feet. It would be very uncomfortable to type on it, but with the feet, get that one out as well. It's still quite uncomfortable. You'd need a wrist rest, and that edge and across there is quite sharp. So maybe Lee could work on an update with a chamfered edge, but the keys just feel sublime. So anyway, until I meet up with Lee again or find a way to get this back to him, I'm going to put this back up here on my shelf behind me, where next to the Spectrum Deluxe Plus Deluxe. Oh, I forget what they're called, but they live together. So what else he gave me was this is the keyboard PCB. Well, there's 3 of them here. These are the Don Superfo Harlequin 128 keyboards. And this is what the Spectrum Plus is based on. And I have 3 of them, so I'm going to hang on to one for myself, but I'll be giving the other ones away to people in need. He also handed over to me these PCBs, which are the Spectrum Deluxe PCBs that he designed himself. And he gave me some ribbon cables and some of the edge connectors to connect the keyboards to the motherboards. So they're very handy. Obviously I've got my own one of these now, so I'll be finding homes for, how many have we got here? There's 5 PCBs in there. So I'll be finding homes for those. He also brought along this 3D printed joystick, a bit grubby across the bottom there, which he did with his, I'm not sure which printer, but one of his multicolour printers. Lee builds his own printers, and the print quality on this is stunning. We had Richard was there from Heber, and Richard really knows his 3D printing chops, and he took a look at this and he was very impressed. It's an amazing piece of 3D printing. It's beyond anything I could do, and it's multicolour as well. So this plate in here is printed in both orange and this dark grey, so it's got the Atari feel. It's really nice, actually. It's much more comfortable than the other one I've got. Where's the other one I've got? Here it is. So the big difference is, oh look at that, he's rounded these edges here. He's changed the button layout, so this is just going to be, this one's got an Atari style DB9 on it, and this one's got a USB, and it's got buttons across the back and more buttons here. But I need to find some nice capped ones like these that he's got in here to make these a little bit less sticky uppy. So I need to get that back to him as well. And he brought along this to show off as well. This is the Atari 7800 3D printed joystick that he made. He's got videos on this. It's difficult to pick up on the camera. Again, another lovely 3D print. But this one has the dial and joystick all built into one thing. It's just a marvellous piece of engineering. A terrible joystick, but yeah. Thanks, Lee. We'll get those back to you soon. Johnny Blanchard was there, and he was giving away some Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and some other platform games. And this is, yeah, a proper Game Boy Advance game called Jewel. I did give this a go. It is nails hard. Really, really hard game. It's that hard I can't even get into the case. There we go. There we go, Jewel. Thank you, Johnny. Lovely to meet you again. Snorkers wasn't there, but I did take this with me, and I was going to wear it, and I just left it in my box and forgot all about it. So it's going back up on my wall where it usually lives, behind my workbench. When we got there, they gave us goodie bags. I think everybody got a goodie bag when they came in. And I'm not sure if mine was left intact. I think there's stuff missing from it, but got some PCBWay merch. And, oh, Video Beast sticker. I think that's Andrew that gave those. A Retro Collective sticker. That's nice. What else we got? RC 2014 Retrofest 2025. Celebration of retro computers. And Short Circuit. Oh, excellent. More stickers. That's really good. And a pin badge. It's not the only pin badge. This one here is a genuine Red Arrows pin badge. The Red Arrows are a stunt flying, jet engine flying part of the RAF here in the UK that have been going for years and years and years. And yeah, and this was given to me by John from Glass TTY, and he was tormenting us about being the big Red Arrow Club, and we didn't even fly aeroplanes. I got a nice pen and a pencil case and a ruler from PCBWay. Oh, right, the Museum of Computing. Well, okay. I did get told off by the Digital Orphanage on BlueSky for not going to visit the Museum of Computing, which is apparently was very, very close by my first hotel from the first night. So, but I am going to go back. I've promised I'm going to go back because I really do want to go and have a look around. And there, look, the big Red Arrow Club. We've got all of our QR codes for all of our, well, the attendees that were there that day. So we've got Dudley of Yesterzine, Retro Collective, there's me, Tech Made Easy Matt, Yawning Angel, Retro Crazy Duncan, Timberwolf, Hack Build Restore, and Retro Tech Repair, whose name is Roger. I'm so bad with names, and I kept forgetting Roger's name. There's Tim as well from Tim's Retro Corner was there, and I kept calling him John because I kept thinking he was Glass TTY. But he gave me some stickers with some Reefer Inside stickers here, and Andy was there. That's all of the stickers apart from my ones. Oh yeah, Retro Tech Repair gave me a beer mat. That was nice. Well, he didn't give it to me. I just took it off of his display. What else have we got? I had the ZX Metrum Deluxe running the whole weekend, 2 days solid, and I ran it off a Sinclair original power supply. No problem at all. That worked out really well. Apart from when we plugged it into the TV, the CRT TV that Matt from Tech Made Easy had loaned me for the weekend, and it was black and white. And it was that until about halfway through the second day when I pressed one of the buttons on the front of it and it went to colour. It was just on the wrong channel. So these, let's move all that out of the way. There is something else. This is from Matt Desmond. I've got one of his stickers here already on my TV. I'll have to find somewhere special for this one. Maybe on my laptop. Matt gave me a new copy of Des Test Switch, or a new PCB, in a lovely 3D printed resin shell. And he says there's something, I think it uses a bigger EEPROM or something. I'll have to find out the details of this and maybe do an update on that at some point. But Matt also gave me, you saw a clip of Matt in the hotel lobby in the morning of Sunday morning, handing me this and a t-shirt as well. T-shirt wasn't big enough for me, but Thomas has stolen it. So I think Matt underestimated how fat I was. One of the highlights of the weekend was, and for all of the other events that I've seen him at, is meeting Tim Gilberts, who is just a gentleman. He's an absolute legend, and so much fun to talk to. And for those that don't know, Gilsoft were the creators of the quill, and he will go to great pains to say that he didn't write the quill. It was Graham that wrote the quill, I believe. It might say in here, but he signed it for me. Lee, didn't Graham do? Didn't I see? He's so humble. Didn't Graham do well? Keep on enjoying the adventure, Tim Gilberts. So I now have a signed copy of the quill, and sorry, Paul, I forgot to pick up your. Well, I didn't make time to pick up your copy of it that you wanted signed as well. Oops. But he also gave me this. This is about the Scamp, which was like the first commercial single board computer. It has a really good story. Yeah, the Scamp came to the UK and became the Scrumpy. And Tim, this is Tim's book about that PCB, that board, that single board computer, all about the history of it and actually how to use it in the modern day. Lots of things, how to use it now if you build one yourself. And it's something I know very little about, but I really want to learn. This one here was from Paul Jenkins of Bluff Tech, and he handed this package over to me because he said he saw me building my Kim 1 on the channel for the charity thing, and wondered if I would like a Kim 1 Uno, a full kit. It's even got the Arduino Uno in there, all of the buttons, the 7-segment display, and instructions. Thank you very much, Paul. That's really kind of you. I love the Kim 1. It's such a brilliant little machine, and what I want to do with this is have it hooked up to my Versaterminus board and playing chess over the terminal. Right, so I've plonked that kit up on the shelf in front of the Kim 1 so that I remember what it is. Now this one was handed over to me by Stephen Usher, and this is something I requested from him, and this is quite special. So back in the day, the ZX81 was a machine without colour and without sound, and those were the two biggest things that the ZX Spectrum added to the Sinclair line of computers. But before the Spectrum came along, people were being very creative with add-ons for the ZX81, and there were all kinds of add-ons. You could get speech synthesizers and RAM packs, and I'm pretty sure you could even add colour in some form and higher resolution graphics with an add-on pack to the ZX81. And I remember before, when the ZX Spectrum was being promoted, and it was something that was upcoming whilst we still had ZX81s, making the choice of either upgrading my ZX81 with expansions or buying a ZX Spectrum. Obviously, I chose the right thing and got the ZX Spectrum, which most people I'm sure did. But it was an option to do that. This is a Williams Stewart Systems sound card for a ZX81. It's got an AY sound chip, so it's actually got better sound than a ZX Spectrum. It's got more voices and channels. The ZX Spectrum just had its little beeper. So this would give the ZX81 sound capability. Stephen Usher found this amongst a bundle of stuff that he recently acquired, all around the ZX81. There were a few ZX81 machines in there, some really interesting stuff. You can see his adventures on it on the Retro Hardware Discord. He came up with this, or he said that he had this there as well, and it had some traces eaten away, and on the back here, they're in very poor condition. They're just missing. All of the pads have gone. It just floated off. He's not desoldered this or anything. That's just gone. Well, I think he desoldered the edge connector that was on there, but all of the pads were just disintegrated already. It's a really low quality PCB with a lot of hope gone into the construction of it. Not much quality. So anyway, this is going to be appearing on the channel at some point in the future, where I'm going to make a video exploring my journey through going from a complete novice into designing my own PCB to replicate this PCB and building a new one of these for my ZX81 so that I can finally add sound to it. So that's going to be interesting. I've got help from a real, I'm going to say expert. He'll probably deny that, but an expert in building and designing PCBs, Julian Brown of the Board Folk, is going to help me along the process. He's already seen photographs of this, and in his lunch break probably, he's designed this PCB already and finished it, and it's done and ready to go, but he's not sharing any of that with me. I have to learn how to do this for myself, which will be a great fun thing to do. I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you, Stephen, for letting me borrow this. I will make sure it makes its way back to you at some point in the future. There was some other things. This one, super wide angle lens. I bought this one off of Pete from Short Circuit, and he's been hanging on to this for me. This was on the display in the 1980s fake bedroom that was in the corner. This was going to be mine at the end of the day, but I said to Pete, can I take it now so I can get Roland Perry to sign it? So that was really nice. I've no idea what's inside here. He said it's completely untested. So that'll be an adventure at some point in the future. Maybe it'll be a broken one. Woohoo! I don't think I'll be keeping the 3.5 inch or the 3-inch disc drive though. I might have to go take it because I've got no other way to load software on it. And just as big and much broader is this one. So this is from Nine, who's somebody on my Discord, who offered this as a donation to the channel, and it's not just an Amiga 500, it's an Amiga 500 that's broken, that's actually faulty. So I get to fix an Amiga 500, and what I've said I'm going to do with this is I'll end up, I'm not going to say when because I'm so far behind on charity things, I will end up auctioning this off for charity after it's had its turn on the workbench. So hello Lee, this is an Amiga 500 I picked up on eBay, collection only, lot in Birmingham, of 3 machines around 2017-18. This one was at the bottom of the box, and as I went through cleaning the other 2, this one was left alone for quite a while until I got to look at it around 2021. The machine is a revision 6 Amiga 500 Kickstart 1.3. At first glance it appears to be working. I gave it a very thorough clean, but not been retrorated, but you'll be pleased to hear the 30-year-old mysteriously dark dust bunnies are gone. Oh, those are my favourites. Things started to go slightly wrong as I started to add bits. It powered up fine by itself, but then I put an RGB to HDMI into it, which didn't work at all until I put a RAM expansion into the trapdoor. I modded it, sold a bridge between the kickstart ROM and the CPU for 1 megabyte of chip RAM, and it was fine. But after a few crashes, I ran an Amiga test kit and diagram. Amiga test kit and diagram both confirmed a memory address error in an unusual place, right at the 511 kilobyte mark. Out of that address. The machine was a really unusual ragtag machine, and it's clear that someone had been at it. Most of the hex screws around the ports were missing. There were only 3 case screws holding it together, and the other 3 inside mixed with 3 of the motherboard screws. The shielding looks as though someone bent it at 90-degree angle in the past. I've since chucked it rather than risk cutting my fingers on it. Yeah, I would have chucked it anyway. The 68,000 socket was loose enough that the CPU could be lifted out with fingers. I've seen that before. Very often expansions get put into the CPU socket and they stretch the pins. Oh, and the 3 remaining case screws are really weird and dark in colour, like they've been damaged by moisture. That can happen if they go dark. That could be they've gone rusty and someone's put them in vinegar and then they go kind of blackish. There's also a bit of rust on the edge connector which will need cleaning up. Floppy drive is untested, but a stalwart, clunky Chinon drive. Excellent. I have left the screws which are inside, but added 3 correct 6-point screws for the empty space, added 3 good case screws for the outside to hold the case together, put a turn pin socket I got from Exos in the CPU socket to add enough tension to hold the CPU in place. You might want to remove the old socket and replace it with the turn pin socket so it's less janky. As mentioned before, jumpered the Agnes so the memory is configured as 1 megabyte chip rather than 512. And 512 chip and 512 slow. I've taped a Claranto 3.10 ROM on the outside as a replacement for the 1.3 ROM if you feel like using it. There's a 512 kilobyte memory expansion in the trapdoor as well. It's known good and tested on one of my other Amigas. Thanks for all the amazing videos and great work you do. 9. What a lovely letter. Thank you very much, 9. And thank you for the Amiga. I will have my fun with it. And then it will go to a good cause and we'll find it a really good home. Excellent. Thank you. And that's it really. That's my weekend. That's my weekend sorted and underlined. I didn't really suffer too badly from this one. I'm still a little bit weary. It's Wednesday today and I'm still quite tired, but not as poorly as I've been in the past after some events. Got away with it, I think, this time. Hopefully, fingers crossed, things could still flare up. But yeah, looking good, looking good. I've got to find homes for everything that I've brought back now. If I've forgotten something, I will try to, because there are things that I've just dumped everywhere and lost track of. If I've forgotten something, remind me and I'll try to add it into a future update video. But yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, I think we're done.